Hey garden nerds, I'm Christy Wilhelmi from Gardenerd, and as the end of the season approaches, I want to make sure that you have all the information that you need in order to harvest and cure your winter squash. Now, if you're not sure about the difference between summer squash and winter squash, we've got another video for that right here, and you can watch that to know the difference. But this video is about harvesting and curing your winter squash. I'm talking about your butternuts, your delicatas, your pumpkins, your spaghetti squashes, your Hubbard type squashes. These are going to last if you store them properly, and curing is required to do that. Okay, the process for harvesting winter squash is different, of course, depending on where you live. If you have really long summers where the vines have a chance to die back on their own, I just leave my winter squashes attached until the vines are completely dead and the stem color has changed to this nice complete brown, there's no green left in it, and then you can harvest it. But if you live somewhere where you have a short growing season or frost is fast approaching, grow varieties that are short season varieties that mature in less than, say, 85 days, 90 at the most. And then B, you can actually harvest these squashes a little bit early as long as they've started to turn color. Ideally, you want to see that color change where the stems start to lose their green, and so does the skin of the winter squash. Curing is the next step. Now, curing sounds kind of complicated, but it's really not. And again, two different ways to do this. If you live in a warm winter climate where your seasons are very long, honestly, just leave them out there, let the vines die, and leave the squashes out in the sun for 1 to 2 weeks, and then they're cured. Ta-da! Now, if you live in a place where you have to, be careful of the weather and you're going to cut them early and bring them in, they need temperatures between 80 and 85 degrees and humidity between 80 and 85 degrees, those are the magic numbers, in order for them to cure. Again, a sunny place, usually outside, is going to fit the bill. Now, what I do with my winter squashes, I will bring them in at night because we get a lot of condensation and the temperatures are cooler, but I'll put them out during the day. And I'll repeat this every day for a week to 2 weeks. Really, 10 days to 14 days is going to be sufficient. As I mentioned, with most winter squashes, you want to cut so that you've got at least a 2 to 4 inch stem on that squash. However, if you're growing something like a Hubbard type squash, they really don't want any stem on them at all in order to cure. They do better without a stem. Also, regarding acorn squash, they really don't want to be cured because they only last 2 to 3 weeks anyway. So if you harvest those, just bring them in. Don't cure them in the sun because that can actually degrade their shelf life over time. So that's pretty much it. Curing isn't all that complicated, and nature takes care of it all by itself if you have the right conditions. If you like this video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to find out when our next video comes online. And consider becoming a Patreon subscriber to support all the free stuff that we do here at Gardenerd. You'll find lots of information at gardenerd.com and in my books, Gardening for Geeks, Grow Your Own Mini Fruit Garden, and for a great summer read or end of summer read or fall read or whatever, my novel, Garden Variety. Happy gardening.